Hey, what's going on YouTube? MarineX back at it again. Everything I took to SHOT Show 2026, things I felt comfortable carrying in Las Vegas. It was difficult because I live in Texas and I wanted to carry random shit in Las Vegas, so I had to follow their rules. Let's talk about the things I carried on my body. We'll talk about the things I brought with me packages wise later on in another video. First, we're going to talk about, I guess, one of the only like self-protection type of tools I could really bring with me, the Palm smaller size pepper gel. This one I like. You can have different colors on them. Great on keychains. I really kept this one in my pocket because once I got to Vegas, my keys for my vehicle, I locked in the safe. I didn't carry those every day because you would hate to lose the keys to your freaking truck. But I love how small this thing is, just in case you need it. Flip the top, stick your finger in there, spray it. If you're so, anytime I walked on the strip, I kind of had like a method that I did. If I walked up and down the strip, or if I was on like Elvis Presley Boulevard or Paradise or anything like that, I always carry two things in conjunction. This pepper gel is pretty good because it has a pretty good radius. You can get at least 10, 15 feet out of this. Very well made. This one specifically is made in the USA. I like carrying stuff from Palm or from Sabre. Those are kind of my go-tos whenever for like personal protective stuff. My other go-to was the Next Torch Arc Torch. Now this is a newer flashlight from Next Torch, 1600 lumens. The thing I like about this is because I can carry it in the palm of my hand. So if I'm just walking through my ring finger, it's very, very discreet. And as you rotate it, it actually just rotates through its entire cycle. So you can go from high, medium, low directly to strobe. But if you rotate downwards, you go directly into strobe. So it's very, very easy user interface with this strobe in the back. You know, if you go up, you're going through high, medium, low strobe. Down, you're going directly to strobe. Now, 1600 lumen strobe is not the most aggressive strobe, especially like under Las Vegas lights, but it was enough. Okay, it was enough to give me peace of mind. I like how well built this is as well. You got ceramic glass breakers on the front of this, and I'll give you some B-roll of how strong the glass breakers are on Next Torch flashlights because they're stupid strong. I got to use that on one of their booths. Another reason I like to carry this flashlight is because flashlights with these types of rings in them, especially when they don't have glass breakers on them, they allow you to do certain things like this. So as you're using the flashlight, you can actually flip it around, keep the flashlight in your hand, and still access other things that you want. So if you want to hand somebody a cell phone, hand somebody your wallet, whatever, you don't have to put the flashlight down. That move is very effective when you're carrying a weapon. So if you need to reload a magazine, you can actually swip it around. That's what the main purpose of it for. But I couldn't take a weapon to Vegas because you can't carry a gun inside of casinos. So this was kind of what I was left to, was the things that I have here. So where I stayed at, I wanted to make sure that I was permitted to take pepper gel, a flashlight, and the next thing for protection were knives. So I like the Benchmade immunity series, whether it's the full immunity or the half immunity. I like the automatic movement of them. I like how small they are. I like to bring the smaller one because I just feel more confident that I'm going to be okay with the knife size. Although Nevada is pretty, you know, it can be conservative, it can be liberal, but they have a lot of conservative type of laws. I just wanted to make sure that the knife length was not going to jam me up when I went into different facilities. And so this is why I ended up bringing this one. I love just the full auto action of this. I love the scales on it. Love the blade steel. Great to just have a knife on you. You never know when you're going to be visiting a booth or getting some food or ordering takeout or whatever. You just need to cut through some shit. Also, self-defense purposes, it's nice to be able to have this for slashing purposes. Not the biggest blade in the world. You're not going to get very deep, but it's better to have something that auto deploys and get right to it to not have anything at all. So that was kind of like my go-to. We'll talk about some secondary things that I brought with me pretty often as well. But also important to me was today's video sponsor, which was Veer and their C4 Tactical Field Watch. Now, this was important for a couple of reasons, because this thing here, super reliable. I did not want to rely on a smartwatch while in Vegas. You're out for super long amount of hours. It's easily distracting. I'm trying to film interviews and talk to people and engage eye contact with someone. A smartwatch will gain your attention very, very quickly. It's low-key rude. This thing's fantastic. I think it looks great in every outfit, everything that I wore, whether I was going to a happy hour, I was at SHOT Show itself, or I was going to dinner. It worked well for all of that stuff. I love the USA assembly on this. I love that it doesn't have double lugs. I just love how simple and classic and clean this thing is. Great lume on it, easy to read. and powered by the sun. So you get great features in this. Put 6 hours of sunlight, get you 6 months of reserve time on this bad boy. Check out Veer for the best pricing. I like this because this thing would allow for me to always just have a watch that got tons of compliments. But on top of that, I knew it wasn't dead. I knew that if I left at freaking 0730 and I didn't return until after midnight, which happened multiple nights, the watch was still ticking. The phone was still good to go for other reasons. We'll get that to here in a second as well. Now, the wallet. The wallet I wanted something that could be front pocket carry, easily accessible. I could still access it with that whole flashlight method we talked about. So I did go with the Esker. I went with their Card Holder Pro. This one can note about 1 to 14 cards with the push button right here. I had a built-in tracker with this because, you know, it sucked to lose your freaking wallet in Vegas or whatever. So both of these together really work well for me. RFID blocking technology looks really good. It's aluminum with the carbon forged overlay on it. So I think it's just a very good look on it. Nice to have a cash slip in the front because there are instances where you're tipping folks. Went to Benihana's, you want to tip the chef. I know that they tip share with the waitress, but still, I just want to tip them myself, stuff like that. Now, these are things that were primarily in my pocket or on my body. For the most part, if I had the sunglass case, I had my heat wave vision glasses. These things are shatter resistant. These are permitted to be worn on the range. So I would exchange these when I was at the range day. I would go back and forth between these glasses for shooting or clear glasses that had 100 UV protection, depending on how bright the sun was out there. These things are fantastic. I love these heat waves. These things feel really good. I love the little sheath that they give you, or the little carrying case, microfiber, easy to clean up the glasses. And I think they look fantastic. Now, important for me was a med kit. This med kit was carried one of two ways. I either looped it directly behind me, kind of like a fanny pack on my belt, or I wore it on my bag. But I always had a med kit with me. Everything from BC powders to NyQuil, DayQuil, Band-Aids, gauze. It has to be with me because I'm in another state. Of course, there's 911 in the VA hospital, emergency rooms and stuff like that. But I mean, like, you know, if I literally am going to different booths and flicking tons of eyes, I nick myself a few times. Okay, it's nice to be able to just slap a Band-Aid on myself. Also, it was nice to be able to keep business cards in here. So if I went to different booths or whatever, I got a ton of business cards from whoever, and I would just use those so I can remember who I need to email, which, great reminder. I got a lot of people to email to find some new stuff for you guys so you can check it out. Now, this was great because it came in handy, and I just wanted to make sure I was good to go no matter what. Another thing that was normally in my back left pocket. So this would often be in my back left pocket because I was using my phone a lot for vertical content. And this is the Sarge Ice Mag 3. This is a 10,000 milliamp hour, 35 watt max output if you use the USB-C cable, 22 watt max or 25 watt max if you use the Qi 2 charging. And this is fantastic because all of my phones have MagSafe cases. It doesn't matter if it's my iPhone or if it's my Google phone. I can take this, throw it on the back. It gives me it turns on, gives me color, lets me know that it's actually charging. Has a beefy ass kickstand on it. So it was nice at happy hours and stuff like that. Before I start talking to somebody else, if I'm reviewing some footage, I would take this and throw it on there. I use this to charge up, especially during lunch at SHOT Show. I would charge up cameras with this. I only took one camera, but I would charge the camera up with this and kind of just kept everything good to go and ready. Now, these are items that didn't go with me every day, like on my body, but I swapped them out throughout the week because I like change. So, of course, I did have the Benchmade, but I also had the Three River Manufacturing Rev B. I was hoping that they would be there. They were not exhibiting at SHOT Show, but I still like this knife a lot. Great knife. I just love the fact American made. And this thing, I really wanted to work it out a little bit more because its crossbar lock needs just a little bit more work. So I wanted to carry it as often as I could. So I got this into the pocket a couple of days. All this is being carried in the Eberly stock Fade Adapt Molly, and it's hooked onto my bags. We'll talk about that here. Next to that, I did carry the TKL DP1. Now, this is a nice fixed blade knife, small once again, trying to stick within the rules of Vegas, whatever the heck those may or may not be, whenever I carried a knife or whatever. It was nice to have a fixed blade every now and again in a pocket, mix it up, not to have, free up that right pocket for stuff, and I would put this in my right rear pocket. And it does come with a Kydex sheath, and it does not come with an Aussie clip, but what I did was I did just get an Aussie clip from Amazon and put that on and get that. I also took the Leatherman Wave Alpha with me because I don't stay at hotel rooms anymore without a multi-tool. I can't say how many times I've sat on a toilet seat. I went to mess with a screw on or turn on a faucet or anything that I could call housekeeping, call maintenance to come have them fix the shit, or I can just fix it real quick. So I have to bring a full bit kit. I bring a multi-tool. If it's something that just is inconvenient for me, but I could fix it and not have to wait, I just do that shit on my own. So it's nice to be able to have this. It's also nice to be able to cut thinner things. Like if I've ever tried to MacGyver a piece of tissue or aluminium, it's a lot easier to do with the scissors on this than a knife. Those are way easier to do versus trying to use your knife. It's nice to have the Magna Cut and all the other shit. I didn't use that, but I have the Leatherman ratchet as well, just in case, you know, if I ever need it when I'm at these hotels or whatever the case may be. So this whole thing, like I say, it does have an extra pocket, which for the most part, I would keep my cigar stuff in. I would only pull out my cigar stuff if I was going somewhere where I knew I could smoke. Every casino I could smoke, but I really wasn't in the casinos very often. Happy hours, stuff like that. If I knew we were going somewhere and we were smoking, I would bring my little cigar kit. I had cigars with me. This worked. This kept it nice and slim. I can attach this from bag to bag to bag. Every single bag that I had loop panel inside. So this thing just went from bag to bag very, very easily. So this was a very comprehensive carry for me for Vegas. And, you know, shout out to just like the ease of other states honoring knife laws and gun laws of other states. I like stuff like that. You can conceal carry in Vegas, but most private property, you just can't. To be honest with you, I actually had to throw a knife away at the Spear because I didn't know you couldn't take knives in there at all. That was a buck knife. It hurt my heart. But so that sucks. I ended up I had 4 knives with me, and I took that one that day. I threw it away as security, which long story short, I threw it away and then poured yogurt and Coke on top of it. So security might have dug that shit out the trash, but it wasn't nice to dig it out the trash. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm just saying, listen, first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.